Show with Irish Show with Irish Show. Sometimes it's good to just yell about football. What are you doing? Don't do this to me, Harry! The Ohio State. It's Ohio State! What do you mean, the? It's a poison! I almost stroked out and died over it. I'm glad to be at the party. I'm mad we're this late. You ain't a captain of nothing but a sinking ship! That helps the defense without them even doing a damn thing! Doing a damn thing! The call-in line. 312-988-15. You tell Johnny all you've heard and seen. Oh, Irish! Oh, Irish! Oh, Irish! Oh, Irish! Irish! Yeah, that's right. Oh, Irish! Oh, Irish! Oh, Irish! Oh, Irish! Irish! Yeah, that's right. Welcome. Well, I can't even. Last night was so glorious. I can't even wipe the smile off my face. It was so perfect. It was so beautiful last night. So poetic. It was everything. It was absolutely everything. Yeah, my hair's growing back. What a fantastic weekend for Notre Dame. I can't stop laughing. I'm sorry. It was just too glorious. Touch 'em all. Grand slam home run. All right. I'm going to contain myself. Here's the first thing you need to know. The first thing you need to know is, I don't know what happened. Halfway through the Notre Dame post-game live stream, I started to not feel good. I was sweating. I got some 24-hour something. So my voice is messed up. I'm all over. I can't breathe. I got to blow my nose. I don't know what happened. Digestive issues. I got something, but the show must go on. So I'm going to apologize if my voice isn't perfect and I need to stop to blow my nose or something. But welcome in, welcome back to the Tennessee State Notre Dame recap. A little bit of that. Mostly looking forward to NC State, Notre Dame's first big test. And big game, Brian strikes again edition of the Always Irish Show. Oh my God, that made me so happy. On you, obviously, you know you can find a program on YouTube. Do it, subscribe if you haven't yet. Appreciate it very much. Give the video up. Where's Uncle Luke? I think Uncle Luke is now changed. Isn't Uncle Luke now the Who's Your Daddy? Because when Who's Your Daddy started trolling me, Crying Belly disappeared, and so did Uncle Luke. So I'm wondering if that's the same person. That might answer that. Give the video a thumbs up. Notifications on that way. You're alerted every time a new episode drops. You don't want to miss it. Twitter, search bar, Always Irish Rat, Always Irish Inc. Emails, alwaysirishnd@gmail.com. Audio only anywhere you want it. You can get it. The call-in lines, they're filling up today. People are on vacation. We're going to let you have your say. 312-988-15. Instagram, Facebook, Always Irish Inc. USA Today, Fighting Irish Wire. Read all about Notre Dame every day. Every day. All right. Let's get into this a little bit. I want to know where you're at with all this. You want to hit Brian Kelly a little bit? This ain't the show that's going to stop you. This ain't the show that's going to stop you. You want to review Notre Dame, Tennessee State? Here's what I'm feeling, you guys. Here's what I'm feeling a lot of. It didn't take us getting halfway through the post-game show for Tennessee State. People are looking at NC State. Like good, we put up a bunch of points, all that, did all that. Beautiful. People are already looking forward to NC State, and I get why. Like, we have a real legitimate big test in front of us this week, a tough road trip at noon in the heat. I totally get why people are going. I'm not going to sit there and brag about the plays we made against this Tennessee State team. We need to start worrying about this first legitimate physical test you're going to have this week. So I'm open to any of those topics, what you want to hear, what you want to see this week from Notre Dame going into NC State. You want to review, feel good about Tennessee State, go for it. You want to hit Kelly, go for it. Now, here's what I'm going to tell you. We got a bunch of phone calls today. I got a feeling people are off on the holiday. They're able to call when normally they're able to watch. We got a bunch of them, so I'm going to do a couple of the chats, and then I'm going to let you guys have your time. It'll help save my voice, too. So we'll bring up a bunch of callers, hit wherever you want to hit. There's a bunch of you, and we'll get right to it. Let's hit some of these super chats. I think I know the tone these are going to take. Oh, my God. This is just a glorious weekend, isn't it? Bob Kelly, who's ashamed of his last name this morning. Great special teams, LSU, Kelly. How about USC playing in an ineligible player? Speaking of the Trojans, 40 days to go. Always Irish senior, noted non-Brian Kelly fan. It runs in the family. Big game Kelly, what a joke. All that talent, and the Tiger ran out of gas, and it looked like red-faced Kelly did too. We are not the problem. Yeah, well, he's got problems. He was throwing the players under the bus. He was doing the loss doesn't matter. It's how you react to it. And he was doing we have hit a patch of adversity. How are we going to get out of it? This dude's hilarious. Oh, my God. Oh, what a glorious night. The internet was dragging this guy so bad, and I got it up on my Twitter feed. I want to give the callers the time. Maybe if we have time at the end. Oh, Mark, my new editor. I saw a lot of ND fans in the Tiger Bait chat last night. I got told to go to bed for saying BK's lost 3 of his last 4 games. It has 2 0-1 starts at LSU, but he'll always beat most of the bad teams. Again, they had to learn on their own. They weren't open to hearing us tell them when they got this guy, big game Brian. You can take the South Bend out of Brian. You can't take him. It doesn't matter. Brian Kelly's going to Brian Kelly. The bigger the lights, the scarier the frights for this guy. I think he caught lightning in a bottle getting Alabama in the most down they're ever going to be last year. He got him. And I think that's what he's living off of. Oh, my God. That is a riot. C. Jones. Players play the game. We know that. But this week, I put the spotlight on Freeman. Want to see a well-prepared team go on the road to beat a team they should. I'll be watching, Coach. I really hope Notre Dame comes in there laser focused, ready to go. Like, I need the team to be mature enough to realize this ain't Tennessee State this week. Like, crank it up, crank that focus level up to a different notch this week. That's what we need. I say good luck to BK and let's move on. Are you new here, Andrew? You've been around a long time. You know I'm not letting that go. Oh, man. Tom says, Andrew, I agree. I totally understand the vitriol towards Kelly. He did some really good things, but he left a really bad taste in our collective mouths. Oh, man. I think ND fans can agree that he took ND as far as he could. Swarbrick was not going to give him a 10-year, $100 million deal. I can't blame Kelly for taking this deal. It's that simple. Yeah, I'm glad he did. Deb Thomas, good to see ya. Oh, good to see ya. Cody says, I enjoyed last night way more than I should have. No, you enjoyed it the appropriate amount. There is no amount that's too much to enjoy that. Jay Carr, thank you, John, for retweeting all the BK memes. It was fun scrolling through meme after meme with a big smile on my face. Listen, you guys, life is short, life is hard. You got to find whatever little pieces of innocent joy you could find. For me, last night, watching the LSU post-game shows and scrolling through Twitter to see all of what everybody was saying, that was it. And I feel no regret about it at all. I don't feel like a bad guy at all. That's what I wanted to do, and it made me happy. It was hilarious. All right, we got a bunch of calls. I'm going to do the super chats, and then I'll put the chats up on the screen. I want to give the callers a chance. $5 holler from Phil. Big game, BK. Whoa, yeah, baby. You know that. V1 rotate $10 holler. Social media. ND did what they were supposed to do, and you won a trophy. Also, social media. The number 3 in the team in the country put 23 points on the 120th ranked defense in the country. Hey, life is such when you're Notre Dame, man. Notre Dame's not getting credit for anything unless you win the Big 3. That's it. It doesn't matter what else Notre Dame does. Notre Dame is getting all the credit they deserve or getting none based on the Big 3 this year. That's it, unless they lose another dumb one. Then everybody will pile on. But if we don't lose a dumb one, you're going to be known for what you do at your record in the Big 3 this year. And the other thing is, don't forget, we got a big game tonight for Notre Dame fans both ways. Duke, Clemson, I got a lot of interest in that in a lot of different ways. So we'll see. All right, we need to take calls. We got a bunch of them, so everybody's going to have to kind of move quick. Just telling you, 219, you're on the line. Big Pete, what up?
Big John, I know your heart sounds like it is still smiling from yesterday, and I knew it would be smiling heavily last night.
I'm telling you, man. It was perfect. I put on Twitter, what did I put? I wrote, when it feels all too familiar, but is no longer your problem. And that was like the best way I could describe it, Pete. We've seen that game from Brian Kelly 20 times. That exact game. The bigger the lights, the more he freezes. No second half adjustments. The running backs had 12 touches. Like, we've seen it a million times, Pete.
Well, he could be on his way to ruining another quarterback this year like he has in the past. And
telling you,
the nightmare matchup you were fearing of Michigan and LSU doesn't look like it'll happen in the 14 playoff.
Those LSU media people were already talking, oh, is Daniels regressing? Why would this quarterback seem like he's getting a little worse the longer he's here and not better? I don't know. Let me see. If only I could find a guy with a track record of doing that. Like, it was just glorious, man. It was just, it proved a lot of what we were all saying. And the LSU people told me it was spilled milk, Pete. They said, you're just mad we stole your guy. That's what they told me for a year. You're just jealous we stole your guy. You got him. You wanted him. He's all yours.
Looking forward to your tailgate in a couple weeks. My friends Tommy and Carissa plan to be there as well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that should be fun, man. We're going to have a good party.
Are you going to be on campus on the Friday that weekend?
I am not. Saturday's going to be just a one shot, driving in that morning, leaving that night. So I will not be around on that Friday.
I was thinking about this because, and I agree with you on this part too, you get sick of hearing about them being the Ohio State.
I do.
Well, how sweet would it be if we win? Because you know how, obviously, when the game is over, the fans sing the Notre Dame alma mater, Notre Dame our mother. You know what the last 4 words of the song are, right?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm choking on myself. Choking, Pete.
That's okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
don't let me stop you.
The last 4 words, if we were to win that game, we should all chant, love the Notre Dame.
Oh, I like that. Focus on the D. Heavy focus on the D. It's good. Pete,
Yeah,
let's get away from the Brian Kelly-ness and let's talk a little Notre Dame. I mean, I like ripping on Kelly, but we got a big ball game in front of us. What are your big thoughts as we enter NC State? Should be Notre Dame's first real physical test of the year. What is on your mind as we enter this week? It's a big week.
I agree. I mean, this is not only is it the best opponent we face, it's on the road too. So that part, this will be at least somewhat of a measuring stick for us.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it's going to be a physical measuring stick. I want to see both lines. That's like maybe the number one thing I want to see. I want to see how both these lines of Notre Dame's hold up against a team with more physical capabilities than the two we face. That's first and foremost what I'm looking for.
well, I mean, because in the 12 possessions that we've had with Sam Hartman as the quarterback, we have not punted yet. We've had 11 touchdowns and 1 missed field goal. I mean, I'd love to have that go on forever, but I'm sure it's not going to. So we need to be prepared to be in a closer game.
Yeah.
And
yeah, it's you're absolutely right. But you know what? Good for Notre Dame. Things are going about as good as they could. You know, you're 2-0 with 2 blowouts. Like getting 2 wins is fine. 2 blowouts is even better. Things are trending up, but you got to have this one. After this one, you have Central and then Ohio State. So everybody's looking at this as if Notre Dame gets this one, there's what, a 99% chance they're entering Ohio State undefeated, which was the first big goal of the year. This is it, man, of the first month. This is it. This is the game you got to have.
Yeah, and I'll ask about this, and forgive me, this will probably get you worked up a little bit. Do you think that should have been targeting on the hit on our return man the other day?
I just don't get it, Pete. Like, you're not even going to look at that one at all. But then our guy leads and hits like the guy's shoulder pad, and they throw our guy out. I hate the way that rule is legislated. There's no there's no consistency. So it didn't cost us in this game. I think he's going to be okay. And it wasn't like a call that blew the game for us, but the lack of consistency with the way that call's legislated drives me crazy. It's just bad.
Well, and also in your message that you sent to me during the game, you kind of felt like we were sleepwalking a little bit through the early part of the game. We cannot afford to do that this week.
Nope. And I don't know, Pete, if some of that is Ireland, Navy hangover, travel. I don't know how much of it's that versus like what I don't know. But I do know that the first 2 weeks had a bunch of weird nuance to it. Now you're getting into more of a regular game setup. And I'm excited to get into that part of the schedule. But you got to have a good focus week of practice and gear up because this is a different challenge this week. It's a very different challenge and you need to be better. Your margin for error is less than it was the first 2 weeks. Tighten it up. Have a good week of practice. Be focused. NC State doesn't scare me, but if we sleepwalk, we're going to get beat down there. They're good enough that if you go in there asleep, you're going to lose. But if Notre Dame plays their B game, they're going to win by 2 scores. That's how I see it right now.
Well, unfortunately, you and I both remember the last time we played there when we were playing in a hurricane, and a name that we won't bring up decided to throw the ball 30-plus times and go in the shotgun, and then when we have a bad snap, blame the center.
Oh, yeah. And, there was a little bit of that last night. He was saying, this is on the coach's total failure and the players. Everybody caught some of the Brian Kelly-ness yesterday. Pete, anything else, my friend? It'll be good to see you and your crew in a couple weeks here, man. I appreciate the call.
Yeah, I mean, you'll be at one of 2 tailgates that I plan to be at that weekend, and I mean, your family will be there that day too, correct?
Yep, the whole crew's going to be there, and everybody from the Blue and Gold tailgate will be there, and everybody from the Hartman event will be there. We got a growing, traveling crew.
That is awesome.
Yep. So, Pete, have a good one, man. Enjoy your Labor Day. Have a big smile on your face. Notre Dame's playing well. Brian Kelly's Brian Kelly. And what's not to like about that, bud?
You are correct, sir.
Oh, beautiful. Have a good day, Pete. Thanks for the call.
You too. Thanks, John.
Oh, see ya. Man, it's just, listen, I don't care if people want to say it's immature of me to make fun of Brian Kelly and get over it and this and that. No. How about that as an answer? No. How do you like that? Oh, John, shouldn't you be more mature? Let's just talk about what Notre Dame. How about no? Do you know the levels of stress Brian Kelly has caused me in this basement? Do you have any idea the years off my life that one person has caused? Do you know how much more the Rogaine stock is worth thanks to what Brian Kelly's done to John Kennedy? Do you have any damn idea how many nights I laid in bed and tossed and turned because I felt like the guy running our program wasn't giving it his all? Do you have any idea how many evenings I couldn't sleep because I knew the guy in charge of all this isn't putting in 100% and he's treating everybody around Notre Dame like crap? So no, I'm not just going to take the high road and let Brian Kelly skate. I'm glad the guy lost. And it's one thing to lose. It's another thing to lose the way he lost. That's the other thing, man. Florida State looks tough. They got those receivers are really good. I got to give Florida State credit. I mean, on top of just me liking Kelly losing, they played really, really good. That's the best I've seen a Florida State team play in a long, long time. Years and years and years. They deserve a lot of credit. But it was like watching a replay of all those Notre Dame big games. It looked and felt what we felt all those times. And you're going, oh, the second half, we'll make some adjustments. Yeah, you adjusted from being bad to getting worse. Those are Brian Kelly halftime adjustments, going from being bad to getting worse. Those are his adjustments. Unbelievable. Look at this. Rolling on the floor laughing at ND fans. When your program has had zero success in the playoff era, then all you have is to cheer against LSU. Oh, it's okay, Jason. Don't worry. Big game Brian, he's still got your back at LSU. You're still going to be good. All he needs is the talent and the resources to build new football buildings, and that's going to change that guy's brain, right? It's okay, Jason. It's all right, buddy. It's just spilled milk. I'm just jealous because I still want him to be my coach. That's why I'm making fun of him, because deep down, I'm sad that you guys stole my man. That's definitely it, Jason. Unbelievable. And you want to know what else is funny about that? Think about how dumb this person is. When your program has had zero success, then all you have to do is cheer against LSU. Hey, dummy, do you find any random connections between Notre Dame's lack of success in that era and us making fun of LSU? Like, that's how dumb these people are. Even the insults don't even make sense. When you have zero success, yeah, we had no success in the playoff era thanks to Brian Kelly, dummy. Hello? Yeah, we had no success thanks to the guy I'm making fun of. Oh, what a great day. Oh, I love this day. There's a spider that dropped from the ceiling. I don't know what's going on in this basement. Oh, my God, this is fun. 773, you're talking to me. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. Happy Labor Day there, John Kennedy. It's Tom Frawley. How you doing, pal?
I'm doing good, Tom. Good football weekend for Notre Dame. Big win and a lot of laughs last night, man. I'm flying high. I feel under the weather, but I'm flying high, baby. Good weekend for the Irish.
Without a doubt. Listen, I'll be quick. I got a few items for you. I don't want to spend any more time on Brian Big Game Kelly than I have to. But I'll tell you what, it's what everybody's been saying, and of course, saying on the thread, I agree. All the reasons why we dislike that man. You know, I want to put him in the rearview mirror, and I'll tell you why. I saw Marcus Freeman's post-game press conference after the game on Saturday, and it's very telling. He said some things in there that made me want to go through a brick wall for him, and he does it in such a classy way.
Yep.
And he gets his point across, and you could see his sincerity.
Yep.
And that he has bought into the whole Notre Dame thing. I mean, for God's sake, he even converted to Catholicism. That says a lot about that man. So, you know, it's just such a joy to have a coach like that, even though he's lacking some experience versus Kelly.
Tom, can I tell you this? And this is on my notes as something maybe even to do a show about, but this is a very small item. Some people don't value it, but I do. And especially at Notre Dame, I think it's important. Sam Hartman and Marcus Freeman are the two faces of the program right now. They're the two biggest guys. They are both so humble. It matters to me, man. I like that. Both of those guys are so humble, and they get up there and thank everybody else. And both of those guys gave up first class plane tickets back from Dublin to let other people sit in the first class. Like, these guys are so humble. That matters to me at Notre Dame. The way they carry themselves, those two, as the leaders and the pillars of the program, the way they carry themselves is wonderful. I love it, and I want to see it rewarded in a world all about me, look at me, what can I do? They make it about everybody else pitching in. And they're the two most important, popular people in the program. I love that. And it's a great Notre Dame fit in that regard.
Absolutely. And the other thing, inside the press conference, there was a reporter that asked him a question of why he reprimanded Ramon Henderson after his diving interception. And of course, the horrendous NBC coverage didn't show that. Usually they show these guys going back to the huddle, but he got in his ass, and he told the press that he said, I want you to act like you've been there before. Don't disrespect the game by spiking the ball and hand the ball to the official, and make sure you've got possession of the ball before you start celebrating, and go back to the huddle or the sideline. And I'm like, boom, there it is. You know, that's what it's all about.
Yeah, but you had that. And then the week before, you had Audric with the consequences for putting a ball on the ground.
That's right.
I kind of like the way you're seeing that accountability. Even when the team's doing really well, there's accountability at that level a couple weeks in a row. I like that, man. And it seems like the players are the only way that works is when you have a culture where the players respect that that's how it is. And I think they do. And that is a good higher level sign as well.
You know, too, I want to go off of that topic a little bit. You know, people have been pissing and moaning, and rightly so, about the total broadcast of Notre Dame games on NBC. It's really bad, John. And I normally give a little bit more credit, but it's horrendous.
Yeah.
They don't, now that they have got this contract with the Big Tenn, the NBC studio is not Notre Dame centric anymore.
We got hijacked. You know, it feels like we got hijacked because there's so many more of them and then us. So even though we're a part of it, I feel like it's the Big Ten Network. And oh, by the way, Notre Dame's there. And oh, by the way, the Notre Dame game isn't getting the number one broadcast group either. That's what it feels like to me.
So, and me too. Yeah, we feel like a redheaded stepchild. But the problem is, you know.
Hey, leave my hair out of this. Leave my hair out of this,
Yes,
Tom.
I will. But, you know, Pete Pavakwa, who's the next AD taking over for Swarbrick, you know, he was the chairman of NBC Sports. He's got to be able to rectify this situation. I would assume that a lot of heavily connected ND alumni have got to be telling him that. So hopefully he gets it done. But there's a workaround for it at the moment. So I actually have told people that I sync the NBC broadcast with the radio. I get a regular antenna, hook it up to the TV. I take it off the HDMI, and I get the over-the-air Chicago Channel 5 NBC feed, and I sync it up and I link it up, and it actually syncs right with News Radio 78's coverage of Notre Dame on the radio, and it's a joy just to hear Paul Burmeister when he's doing the play-by-play, and
you know
Ryan
what else
Harris
too? Hey, I got bad news for you, Tom. Here's the bad news. You already don't like it, and we haven't even had Jack Collinsworth in the booth yet either time. You don't,
I know.
But it really does feel like the Big Ten network now. And I kind of get it because there's so many Big Ten teams and only Notre Dame. They want to cater to the most people, which are there for the Big Ten. I get it. Now, here's my thought on this, Tom. Tell me if this is right or wrong. I don't like the way a lot of it looks and feels either. However, if Pete Bavacqua announces a contract with NBC and it's paying us $75 million a year, I'll just kind of deal with it. I could be bought in this regard, if the numbers are going to be right on that next deal to put us in a good spot, then I'm willing to deal with it.
Yeah, you know what? I didn't even think of it in that regard, but since they started broadcasting the games, I mean, we had Dick Enberg and Charlie Jones and Mike Tirico. These guys can call a game, so I think they'll get that sorted out. I really do. But my last item I have for you, I am looking for. I know a lot of the Notre Dame fans have been saying, "Come on, throw the ball downfield, get the ball deep." I think we're going to see some wrinkles Saturday and against Ohio State. I think they're going to add in a little RPO wrinkle and get the ball downfield. They're going to have to. I really think they were playing vanilla offensively, pretty much offensively.
Yeah.
They ran a lot of double post moves, and let's face facts. Hartman took what the defense gave them.
Yep.
And it's great that they had the first two scrimmages, but I think you're going to see a higher octane offense, John. I really do.
Yeah, and it's just a big week, man. Notre Dame fans are going to tune in for the NC State game with a different level of attention than we did the first 2 weeks. Like, it's a different level, and it's a big test. And if you clear this one, you should be in good shape to build up that Ohio State game as big as it should be. And so as we get later in the week, we're going to start breaking down more of this NC State game, what Notre Dame could try and do to attack there. But Tom, really good thoughts, my friend. Anything else? Nice touch of base.
No, that's it, brother. I'm just gonna take it easy. Watch this Duke. This Duke Clemson game tonight, and enjoy the Labor Day. Please, everybody, have a safe Labor Day. God bless, and I'll talk to you later, John.
Have a good one, man. Enjoy Labor Day. Take care and enjoy that ball game tonight. All right, 30-second timeout for me to blow my nose, and then we'll go back to the calls. Don't go nowhere. You know what else crossed my mind with this me not feeling good business? Last week was my 3-year-old's first week of pre-K or whatever, getting in these rooms with all these kids, snot flying around and whatever else. I'm wondering if she went to school and brought some home to old pops. The hell? Back to the phones. 818, let's make it great. Oh boy, we're on the highway today, baby.
Gesundheit.
Yeah. What's going on, man?
I am driving to South Bend right now, John, for my fantasy football draft. Anyway, I'm on the road. Didn't want to miss the show for anything. Isn't that funny, John? I called you last night. I texted you yesterday. I go onto my YouTube college football highlights, and I'm looking for LSU Florida State. I type it in, thinking it's on Friday night, right? I'm like, why is somebody talking about this game that happened? Wow. I'm like, okay, here it is. Let's watch it. And I get done, and I'm feeling great about it. I'm like, wow, that seemed eerily similar to last year's game against Florida State. Come to find out, I was watching a replay. So when the real game happens on Sunday night, and it was way better than that. Way better than that. I mean, that was every road night game loss that Notre Dame has gone through in the Brian Kelly area. I mean, it was so eerily similar.
Yeah, it was freaky, man. Dude, it was bizarre to sit there and be like, I've seen this show 20 times. It's just not my problem. It felt so good.
It's so not our problem anymore. And that's the thing about it. I couldn't help but feel good about it. And maybe, I've tried to be very balanced in my critique of Brian Kelly, right? But, even the post-game show sounded like those same post-game shows. I disagree that he throws the players under the bus. He always takes his own accountability. He basically just said, we suck. His assessment's correct, okay? His assessment's correct. He just never fixes the problem. It just never gets fixed. It's like once in a while, a Brian Kelly team will come to play in a game like that. Generally, it's at home. They'll have those moments, but they're never blowouts. They're always close. You know what I mean? He'll barely win. But boy, can he get his ass kicked. He can get his ass kicked. I mean, I would say good head coach I've ever seen, because I do think Brian Kelly is a good head coach. He'll probably have them win 4 or 5 in a row now. And then we'll get to a game where it's on the line again, and they'll do it again, because that's Brian Kelly, and that is what we dealt with for 12 years, man.
Yep, it made my day, man. It made my day. Hey, let's turn it to Notre Dame. What are your thoughts on NC State? Are you already thinking about that, or are you enjoying what we did against Tennessee State? I'm already starting to think about NC State, and it's only Monday.
Oh yeah, no doubt. I mean, what I saw against Tennessee State was. It's funny. I was watching Blue Gold's wrap-up of the game, or maybe it was Irish Illustrated, and they had the score of 65-3. So I'm like, where is this 9 points coming from? Because I'm watching the end of the game, and I'm like, because I didn't see the second half, John. I saw the first half, and then I had to come back and watch it replay. And I saw that we won 65-3, and I'm watching it, and the game clock's winding down. I'm like, where do these 9 points come from? So obviously someone with dyslexic and had it backwards. It was 56-3. Everything. What I like, John, is it's kind of like what you said in the post game. They just everything. These last 2 wins, they don't generally play that good 2 times in a row against inferior competition. They may win both games by a bunch of points, but I mean, while we're going to nitpick, and I have things I want to say about where they got to get better. The deep ball being one of them. I'd like to see them throw the ball down the field a little bit more than what they've been doing. That'd be nice. But maybe they're saving that. But what is really good to see, John, I'll take this over that even. Everybody is getting involved. I mean, they're using their talent. I think Freeman's figured out we don't have a lot of absolute top-end talent. I mean, 5 stars everywhere.
Yeah.
But we got a lot of high 4 stars. So let's just use them all, man. And everybody looks good. I mean, the team looks good, man. There are areas to improve. Tackling was sloppy. Tennessee State played really hard. My God. Okay. I know I go off on these tangents and I switch it to a different subject. John, I got to bring this up because I think it's important to make clear what I said last week about them playing an FCS opponent and how I think we got it wrong. And especially because of the HB, what is that? How do you hate those 4 letters? HBCEA or HBCU head coach team? okay, let's look at it this way, John. If you're a recruit coming out of high school that's not going to get a scholarship from a top-end school, but you can choose between a lower FBS school or go play for Eddie George, come on, man. I'll bet you that team has similar talent as some of those lower FBS schools. So I'm not just going to look at the fact that it's an FCS opponent and get all tied up in a knot over that. You know what I'm saying? And I think that game proved it. Like, Eddie George has, they don't have that much talent, but they played really hard. And I dare to say it's not that much different than if we were to play Ball State. But that makes everybody feel better, so be it. I would rather play a team led by an Eddie George, Jackson State led by a Deion Sanders. I think that has me more interested. And apparently it did for the crowd, too, because they seemed like they were really into the game.
Yeah. Yep. I don't know, man. It's just, I'm glad we're done with these
What are
two.
your thoughts? Well, I am too. I want to move on to NC State for sure, but I mean,
Yeah.
I just wanted to just make that comment. I don't see no problem with it being an FCS opponent under the circumstances that they were in. NC State's going to present a challenge to us, man. It's just going to be, where are we physically at this point? You know, I expect us to come out and maybe look a little. We've come out relatively slow these last couple of games. We have. If there's any criticism, we haven't come out like a house of fire. We've come out relatively slow. So I would expect the same to continue. But as we get to the second quarter, third quarter, and fourth quarter, I expect it to be a 17 to 24-point win, John.
Woo! That'd be good.
Thinking.
That'd be beautiful. That'd be beautiful. I like it. Hey, man, thanks for giving me a call on Labor Day. And make sure you treat South Bend well when you're in town today, all right?
I sure will. And I'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Perfect, man. Thanks for the call. Drive carefully. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Oh, man. Look at this. Michael Parks. John, stop giving Brian Kelly your energy. Give it back to Marcus and do it now. I got plenty of energy for both, buddy. Like, don't tell me what to do with my energy. I have plenty of energy for both. I could do this show, talk about Notre Dame, and also rip on Brian Kelly. I am perfectly capable of doing both at the same time, all right? Again, I said, life is hard. Life is not fair. Life sucks. You got to take the joy you could get, and I don't care how petty and immature it is. I am going to celebrate Brian Kelly failing on the big stage until the day I die. That's never going to end. And the other thing, people don't get this. And then right back to the calls, still got a bunch. I've said it a million times. People don't want to listen. If Brian Kelly treated people the right way, and I felt and knew that he gave his all at Notre Dame effort-wise, and he didn't succeed, that's a different situation than the one we were in. Like, I cannot be more clear about it. My issues with Kelly are not just he didn't win the big game, we didn't recruit elite enough, he didn't develop an elite quarterback. It's deeper than that. He started treating people like crap, and I know for a fact he got lazy on the recruiting trail. Those are unforgivable. Those are unforgivable. You give your all, and I know you're working your ass off and you don't get over the hump. I'll be frustrated, but I can live with that. That's not what this was. This was refusing to get on the private jet and go build the relationships you have to build to give Notre Dame any chance. He didn't want to do that. Didn't want to do that. And then, you know, Kelly, when that attitude shifts, then he starts treating everybody around like shit. Okay? So it isn't just he didn't win enough. It's more than that. It's how you treat people and not giving 100% effort. I will never forgive those things of a Notre Dame coach. I can't. I will never forgive those two things. Not treating people the right way and literally just not working hard enough. Those are unforgivable sins. Those are my issues with Kelly. It isn't just a loss thing. That ain't it. So I want to be clear about that. Back to the phones. We got a lot of calls today. 574. Give me some more.
Still got the chant going, Johnny.
I'm doing really good, man. I got a little pep in my step. Notre Dame's 2-0. Brian Kelly's getting dragged on the internet. What a good start to the week.
Oh, man, how about that? What a great weekend overall. I mean, last night you see Kelly on the sideline. He had red, he was blue, he was purple.
Yeah.
Man, he had the whole rainbow in him at some point.
Oh, yeah, we did, man. Listen, one of the world's sweetest joys is when Notre Dame wins their game and we're done for the weekend, watching any other bonus football after that. When we have that win in our pocket and I'm watching to root for people to lose and bad stuff to happen to different teams, like that is the purest joy I ever get in my life, is rooting against other people after we already have a win in a weekend. Is that immature? Because I really mean it. It's one of my favorite hobbies.
No, that's not immature at all. I took great pleasure last night in doing that. And you know what I mean? I'm Phil Haig in the chats, and I just put in there, when he was at Notre Dame, his priorities was, number one, golf. Number two, I swear he just sat around and tried to come up with excuses so when they failed, he could blame everybody and anything but himself.
No.
And then maybe down the road.
No. You're wrong. There was one priority when he was here, and everything else got messed up underneath it. The chief priority, and it still maintains today, is maintaining his ego and image. That was always his number one priority at Notre Dame, and everything else came second, third, and wherever. But that everything with him falls under that umbrella first and foremost, protecting my ego and my image.
Yeah, and then maybe opening up gate A so he could sit inside.
Man, I just had so much fun yesterday. I enjoyed the hell out of that. Do you got any Notre Dame thoughts? I like crapping on Kelly too. You got any Notre Dame thoughts? Big week this week.
Yeah, I got one more thing, and then I'll let the BK stuff go. It was the same thing at Notre Dame. I mean, the same thing. You look at the stats. The third down, he was 3 for 10 the whole game. That's not going to cut it. And then you look at fourth down, 0 for 3. I mean, it's just the leading rusher was the quarterback. You just go up and down. It's just Notre Dame. I mean, we told them over and over what they were getting, and here it is right there in the bright spotlight, and it's exactly what they got.
It's exactly what they got. And you know what else? Like the thing that's getting the Notre Dame fans is the DNA of that loss is like a match to so many of our games, and it's just wild to see it, and it's great to have it not affect us. And the other thing he did, they start getting behind. He panics a little bit. The running backs only had 12 carries all night in that game. Like, dude, it's so Brian Kelly. All of the DNA of that was it was perfect, man. It was just perfect.
Yeah, it sure was. That was great to watch. I mean, the time of possession was 25 minutes to the 35 minutes FSU had the ball. I mean, everything about it was just Notre Dame 2.0. I loved it.
Yeah, it was really good. Now, as for Notre Dame, first big physical challenge this week. NC State didn't impress me in their first ball game, but I know that's a game at their place at noon in the heat. If you sleepwalk, you could have issues. What do you want to see Notre Dame focus on this week? Big week.
Yeah, tackling. It's got to start there. NC State, from what I've seen from the game last week, it seems like they try to run the ball. I mean, they scored all their touchdowns running the ball. They got to improve the tackling. No more missed tackles. Get in there, hit the guy, wrap him up, take him to the ground.
Yeah. All right. Let me ask you this. I felt that overall this week, the overall operation wasn't quite as clean and tidy as it was in Dublin. I thought the tackling was looser and not as tight as I wanted it to be. There are a couple more little mistakes here and there. Do you chalk that up to long trip from Ireland, weird recovery after Navy, getting situated back home and all that? Do you think that's why Notre Dame started a little rough? And then what do you attribute that to?
Yeah, I think that had a little bit to do with it. Definitely some jet lag, coming from overseas, and it just felt like it took them a while. It took them a couple series to start to get into the flow of the game. And one thing I wanted to point out is I did not. I mean, I know in the second half, I'm glad we got to see Angeli and Nenchi, but they left a lot of the starters in the second half. And I mean, it's great to do that. And maybe they were doing that just so they could see, with their first string line and some of the other first stringers, what they're going to get out of Angeli. But, the last thing we need to do when we're up 35-3 at the half is to have Joe Alters spend, one of our main guys on the line somehow suffer some, tragic injury or something. I didn't care for that.
Now, you want to know something, though? I've been thinking about these kind of complaints and who's playing in these second halves and all that. These are modern luxuries. Like all of these discussions, that's a modern luxury. To be able to even wrap your mind around the concept that Notre Dame would have a whole half to be able to empty their benches and give the depth of work. Like even that is a modern luxury that I am not used to. And it was nice for a week, even though it was not an FBS team or whatever, for Notre Dame to take care of business to that extent, to be able to even do that. I'm not used to it. Felt good, damn it.
No, we don't get to see that very often, do we? I mean, you take some of the other big programs, they're used to blowing people out, and they get, that's why you get deep into games. And if it's a smaller school, the big schools, you can hang with them, but they always wear you out because their second string, their third string, they can get in there in these blowout games, get the experience, and then going forward, they're always going to have the experience to wear teams out. I mean, once you, it's just you get punched in the mouth from their first string, and then they just wear you out. They just wear you out.
Yeah. It's, man, I don't know. This is just, I'm out of sorts, dude. I'm not used to things kind of starting out the year in Notre Dame's favor, quite frankly, to where you're 2-0, you have 2 blowouts, you have found a quarterback that is like legit, that can take you where you need to go if everything else develops. Like we are sitting right where we want to be. And very rarely do I ever get on this show and go, here was the roadmap we drew up for Notre Dame to accomplish their goals. And so far it's going to plan. And now this third game is the next step in that. You're almost there to building that bridge to Ohio State, but you got to get this one.
Yes, absolutely. I really like I've said before, how Notre Dame is really kind of flying under the radar. Yep. Although there's, you're starting to see more talk now. People are starting to open their eyes and realize, hey, Notre Dame, I think, might be a little bit better than what we thought they're going to be. But I like how the schedule was laid out this year. I really do. I like getting Navy done first in Ireland. They come back with a jet lag. They don't throw an Ohio State or a Louisville or a big game in front of us right after that. They got Tennessee State. So it's kind of a good recuperation game. And then, okay, we're going to step it up NC State this week. And then we got one last game, to fine tune everything to get ready for Ohio State. I like the way the schedule was set up for us.
Yeah. It's, there's something to be said for that. And there's a reason a lot of schools schedule an easier start to be able to ease in, work out the kinks, do all that. I'm with you on Navy. If we still want to stick to the playing them every year thing, fine. But I tell them week one, that's it. You want to do it? We'll do it, but make it week 1 and get it out of the way. I like that.
Yes, I liked it. That was perfect. If they could do that every year, I'd be happy for sure.
Yeah. So I don't know for this week, man. One of the big things I'm looking at up front. I want to see Notre Dame's fronts on both sides of the ball line up against guys that are bigger and stronger and can compete with them more than the first 2 opponents could. I just want to see what that looks like. Like we all knew the first 2 opponents were undersized, under-talented, under-athleted. I'm not acting like NC State is Alabama or Georgia talent, but it is a big notch up from the first 2 weeks. That's first and foremost in my mind, up front on both sides. How's Notre Dame going to look?
Oh yeah, it's definitely a big step up from the first two games, and they're going to have to come in there, and they're going to have to be ready to play. I mean, you can't go in there and come out sluggish and get behind a couple scores. That's not, you can't have that. Cannot have that. They got to get in there and do what they've been doing. You know, hit your plays, and just get out in front early. Don't even give them the thought in their head, hey, we might have a chance to pull this off. Let's go. You cannot do that. You cannot let them have that, get any confidence, and just get out there and play, like they've played for the most part the first two games. And I think we'll be all right. I mean, I don't think we legitimately have to sit here and worry that we're going to lose this game. If we can just come out, don't turn the ball over, tackle, just play Notre Dame football how Freeman has taught them to play, and I think we'll be just fine.
Yeah, I really think this group seems kind of mature and put together and comfortable with their leadership and where they're at. I kind of expect to see Notre Dame come out really focused, realizing this is that first big test and knowing what's coming. I could see Notre Dame putting it all together and being real focused and out there ready to go. I bet you the team's kind of glad in a way to have these first two weird opponents out of the way. And I think there needs to be a refocus now. We're past those two weird opponents for different reasons, like a refocusing this week and tightening things up. I would be very disappointed if they showed up lackluster in Carolina. I expect them to be put together.
Yeah, and I expect them to. I've seen Freeman is just such a different coach in many ways. There's no way he is going to have them going to Carolina and not being prepared. I mean, mentally, physically, everything. He's going to have them ready to go, and I really do. I expect them to come right out of the gate and just punch him in the mouth and get out in front, and hopefully we can get to kind of how we were the first couple of games where we're comfortably in the lead in the second half, and we don't have to be sitting on the edge of our chair like last, when Kelly was there,
man,
pulling our hair out, like wondering if we're going to make this time.
If you get into a position like that against NC State, that's a really good sign. Like, you want to talk about what we did against Navy and Tennessee State's a good sign. If you end up kicking the crap out of these guys, I think that'd be a real good sign. And momentum would be high coming back home for the Always Irish tailgate game. And then Armageddon the next week, like the biggest thing you could imagine. So Notre Dame's right on track here. You just got to take care of business. I don't want to be in a position here where people are going to say, John, you were over here ripping Brian Kelly, and then your team went and laid an egg in Carolina. That can't happen. Don't do that. Don't do that to me.
No, God, don't even mention that. I hope that doesn't happen, and I don't think it will. But hey, John, I'm gonna let you go. I know you got a whole line of callers behind me, but I'm gonna enjoy the day and hopefully tonight drink some Guinness and watch Clemson and Duke and see what Clemson has.
Yep, there you go, man. Have a good Labor Day. Thanks for the call, buddy. Oh man, it's just a joy. Notre Dame's doing good. Brian Kelly's doing bad. All is right with the world. I'm sorry. I know that it's petty. I don't care. Like, I don't know how else to explain to you guys. I know my Kelly vitriol is petty. I'm telling you that I don't care if you think that. I don't care. It's fun for me. I don't have enough fun things in my life. Don't take away what I got. Kelly Phelan makes me happy. 703, you're talking to me. We got a lot of calls today, baby. What's up, 703?
John, I'm still smiling ear to ear from last night, man. That like it was a pretty good weekend already.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Oh,
man,
yeah.
that was awesome.
Wasn't that the cherry on top? It was like watching every one of our big night game, primetime games on replay, just with different colored jerseys. It was beautiful, man. A work of art. Just a masterpiece.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, the only complaint I have is the tackling. Like, if we can get that field up against NC State, I think we'll do great. I'm not really
but
worried
man,
about.
do you think that was like hangover from travel and the weird physical recovery that goes into after you play Navy? Maybe a little bit of lack of focus because of the opponent. Like, what do you chalk that up to? Because I thought it was a little loose. The tackling wasn't what it was week one. And I don't want that to be an issue down against NC State, because if you don't tackle well against them, you're going to have a different problem. So what do you think that is? Should I just overlook that, chalk it up to game one recovery, travel, or what?
I mean, yeah, I'm going to overlook it a bit, but I definitely think I'm like, oh, we're playing at FCS school. We just got back. I mean, they have some excuses for that game, but I'm not really worried about losing the NC State game just because they gave up 6.2 yards a carry to UConn's running back.
Hey man, I am glad you brought that up. I'm looking into putting together my notes later in the week for the preview. That is my number one stat that I have circled, is that UConn was able to run it for over 6 yards a carry against NC State. Now, I know they're probably going to tighten things up. It was their first game. We had another one under our whatever already in the fold or whatever. It's their first game. They're going to tighten some things up. But when I look at UConn running it for 6 yards a carry, that's something I'm looking at.
Mm-hmm. And I want to see us get after their quarterback, because he's kind of a quarterback that likes to run around a bit too, like a quarterback for USC. So I want us to get him down to the ground. I do not want him to keep them in the game.
It's one of the things I'm most excited to watch, is to zone in on our defensive front, offensive front against a team that can more capably physically match up with us. And I want to see where we're at. This is going to be a real test. And I think our guys know it. And I think they're going to get excited for it and want to go perform. I think those guys are looking forward to a more traditional challenge. And I think they're going to be excited and ready to go play. I really do. Maybe I'm an idiot, but this Notre Dame team has a good feel right now, a good vibe, totally different than last year. Some of it, I think, is Freeman's more comfortable, and a large part of it has to do with the quarterback. His calming, under control presence permeates this whole team this year. You feel that vibe of like, we got our dude and we got it all under control, and it's wonderful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and especially I want to look at Maris, because Maris, like, he looked really good in the Navy game, and I want to see him look good again. Like, I don't want to see last year's Maris. I want him to be consistently a problem for our opponent's offenses.
Yeah, and I just, everywhere you look, I hear Notre Dame's got three of the best linebackers in the whole country. Everywhere I look, every media guy, all the beat guys, they say you fans are going to keep complaining. But those are three of the most experienced, reliable linebackers there are in the country, like our starters. So I don't know. Offensively, you want to see Notre Dame stretch the field more this week? Do you think they've been holding some things back? I don't know what you expect there.
I mean, I kind of want them to hold it until the Ohio State game. Like, I mean, I'm not looking past NC State, but like I don't know. I don't really want to show her full hand.
Yeah.
Do you think that's being too naive?
And the other thing is, don't show your hand if you don't have to. Like, if Notre Dame has some more vanilla stuff that they want to start out with against NC State and it's working, then there's really no reason to show anything. And then you don't need to show anything against Central Michigan at the Always Irish tailgate game. And then you have Ohio State and you try and hit a couple things nobody's seen. I'm open to that.
Mm-hmm. And I want to see our new O-lineman play better. Like, Rocco didn't look as good as I hoped he would against Tennessee State. So I want all of our O-linemen to just dominate.
Yeah, and again, up front, man, I want to get some gauge of what I can expect against real bulk and some speed. And you just weren't going to get that out of Navy, Tennessee State, and Central Michigan. This is going to be that litmus test, and the main one people are going to pull from to look ahead to Ohio State. So, I don't know, man. We're almost there, though. Notre Dame's close to building that bridge to Ohio State, which was the first goal of the year. Get to 4-0. I don't want to overlook Central, but I'm just being realistic. The way Notre Dame's playing, if they beat this team by 1 point or more, you're probably undefeated going into Ohio State, and the first big goal of Notre Dame's year will be reached.
Yeah, and looking over at Columbus, their bridge looks a lot tougher to build than ours heading into that game, man. They didn't look too good against IU.
Yeah, now
so that makes me even more excited for that game.
I do understand they were playing a Big Ten opponent week 1, not high school, so there's like a different level there. I get it, working out the kinks week 1. I think they didn't expect perfection, but I feel like the Ohio State people were hoping it'd be a little further along. And I don't know what to make of that. Like, I just, looking at some of the fan reaction and media reaction from their side, I just think they hoped it would be a little cleaner of an operation and whatever, but they're not freaking out. But there's some things they're going to want to clean up the next few weeks.
Yeah, for sure.
So I don't know, man. Well, anything else on your mind?
Just a beautiful week of football. I also generally root against the SEC, so seeing South Carolina and Florida lose is great too. So yeah, and Notre Dame winning big, and covering the spread. So just a wonderful week, and I can't wait to see.
Dude, you know what I'm starting to do?
Season shakes out.
I'm starting to really like anytime SEC teams lose. I'm starting to like that more and more. Like, but I never used to. I didn't used to be that way as bad. There would be like specific teams I'd root about. But the way that they're so like, oh, it just means more. I find myself having extra joy when one of those SEC teams lose. I do. I like it.
Like just watching those interviews more commercials just keys me off more and more every time.
Yeah. So. Yeah. But, hey, man, I want you to enjoy your Labor Day. I really appreciate the call. You're right. What a good weekend of football. And what I like, man, is it extends through the whole week. You had games all weekend. Yesterday, you had game on Sunday. Now we got Monday night college football with 2 teams we play. What a great weekend.
What a great weekend. Go Irish.
Go Irish. Have yourself a Labor Day, my friend. Thank you for the call, buddy. I love you guys. I love it. I'm in such a good mood. 336, you're in the mix. Welcome to the show.
Hey, is this me? Am I on?
Yep, it's you, brother.
Okay. I heard the beep, but I didn't hear the number. Usually you give the area code.
Yep. What's up?
So, first off, I'm going to join the happiness train of being so happy that Brian Kelly is gone. Just watching that game yesterday and being like, this was us a couple of years ago. This was us.
Yeah.
This is what we had to deal with. And now being able to watch LSU and be like, what do you want to say? Like, we tried. Like, you guys wanted this. We tried to say,
yep,
they ain't going to go the way you wanted.
Yep.
And they were like,
oh, you're just mad we stole your guy. You're just jealous because he left for the better job, blah, 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 blah. And then what about Kelly saying, we're going to beat the heck out of them? Oh, my God. I love it. That news article's all over social media of Kelly saying, we're going to go in there and beat the heck out of Florida State. I don't think so, buddy. Check yourself.
And, the other thing that gives me relief is like when he left, I was of the opinion that he had peaked at Notre Dame. That I was worried that if we kept holding on to him, that we would stay basically at the same level. The 9-10 wins a season.
Yeah.
Bowl game, but nothing really matters. The games you win are the Camping World Bowl or the Music City Bowl or whatever.
Hey, wait. Hold on a second. What's funny about that is that's where the game was yesterday. It was the Camping Bowl opening weekend or whatever. which is hilarious because
Yeah,
I made fun of Kelly because the biggest bowl game he won at Notre Dame was the Camping World Bowl or whatever. Like, it all connected. Like, finally the universe lines up for Johnny on one weekend. Yeah, it's just beautiful, man.
So, like, I was of the opinion, after, like, in, like, 2018, 2019, I'm like, he's just going to do the same thing again, isn't he? Like, this is just going to be the same. And so when he decided to take the LSU job, I'm like, okay, just do something. Find someone. I was pushing for, like you, I was a Freeman fan. I liked what I saw from Marshall Freeman. I knew there would be a learning curve, a little bit of a learning curve, which we might still be in. I'm not sure. But I'm like, let's try something new. Let's try something different. Let's see if we can push this, if we can get a charismatic, energetic coach to push this push it up a little bit more. Let's see if we can get closer.
Yeah.
And so I was I was one of the people that was like, I want Freeman to be the guy because it might not be perfect right away. It might take a year or two.
Well,
But
here's the thing,
I
man.
think-
Here's the thing. I feel like I'm already starting to see Freeman get more comfortable, and I'm starting to see the program change in different ways. Primarily, the first thing that jumps out to me is they are getting way deeper fast, way deeper than they ever could have been under Kelly as far as getting guys in, identifying them as recruits, developing them quickly, and they can contribute on the field young. We are seeing more of that than we ever could have saw under Kelly. That is a really good sign. You are starting to see that blue chip ratio. You're starting to see that play out with Notre Dame get more depth out of younger guys that could get in a rotation on offense or defense and contribute. You're already seeing that, and it's a huge difference. And it's going to compound the more recruiting cycles you get, the more of this effect you're going to have. Things are changing, and I like the ways.
Well, I mean, we've seen the first two games. We've seen contribution from Caden Greathouse and Rico Flores, both. And I'm sorry, what would make me think that Brian Kelly would have played those guys as freshmen? Because he never did.
No, forget it. No. It's all connected. When you recruit the way Kelly does, he won Lion. Those guys weren't ready to contribute early because he wasn't recruiting and developing and identifying guys good enough to even get in there and be able to do that. Like, maybe Kelly won Lion when he used to say, "Oh, our young guy, they're a ways away." Traits, consistency, and all that. Yeah, it's all wrapped into it. How you recruit has everything to do with what guys can play early or not. Like, it's all connected. God, I'm glad it isn't my problem. I'm glad. Listen, Freeman isn't a polished, finished product. He's learning. But, man, I like the way this is trending. I like his demeanor, how he carries himself. The vibes are good. I'm seeing some of that recruiting start to pay off. Things are trending up, and I don't usually say that about us.
You know what? I didn't think of it the way you just laid it out with Brian Kelly's guys not being ready because of who Brian Kelly recruited. Guys who weren't ready. Guys who took 2 or 3 years to get there, and then by the time there they were leaving for the NFL.
I mean, Kelly was recruiting guys where most of them, it's going to take 2 to 3 years for their bodies even to build up in the strength program enough that they could get in the mix. That's not good enough to get Notre Dame where they want to go. You need guys physically that can contribute early. We're starting to see it. Moving to NC State, what's on your mind? What are the big things Notre Dame's got to take care of to emerge victorious and build that ramp to Iowa State?
Well, it's an increase in competition level. NC State's better than Tennessee State or Navy. So you gotta continue doing what you did last game. I didn't like the start to the game. The first couple drives where it felt like the offensive line got pushed around a bit. aside from Joel, because Joel never seems to get pushed around.
Yeah.
The other guys seem to get pushed around. Like, there wasn't much of a, like, when I was watching it, I'm like, okay, this is a team that you could be able to kind of physically dominate a little bit. They're a division, they're an FCS school or whatever. So you should be able to push them around a bit and get big holes for the running back. And it's like, the first couple of drives, I'm like, what's happening here? Why is that big hole not opening up? And then on the defensive side, it felt the same way. Like, it felt like they were getting the push. And I'm like, this doesn't compute for me.
Yeah.
But you can't have that kind of start again, because NC State is the type of team that can take advantage.
And you know what I heard of? You know what I heard? It looked like Freeman said early in the game, they came out in some sets that Notre Dame wasn't practicing for or prepared for to try and throw Notre Dame off early. And so maybe that was a part of it. Maybe it was the recovery or whatever. Whatever it was, they got over it, blew the team out, and the starters could be out by halftime. I can't get that mad.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is NC State has Brennan Armstrong, who we played against him when he was at Virginia a few years back. Talented quarterback. He's gonna make some plays. If you come out sluggish in the first quarter or something, I don't want to be in the situation where it's like, oh, we're down by 2 scores all of a sudden.
Yeah.
I don't start off that way. By the way, the last time Notre Dame played NC State, we all know the Hurricane game. I was there. I was in Raleigh for that game.
Why? Well, it looks like you're from that way. You're from that. Is that why? I see your Carolina number, right?
Yeah. I mean, I live an hour away from Raleigh.
Yeah. Well, you know what they say, man. The more wind and rain, the more you should throw the ball. That's what I always heard growing up in old football,
40,
Yeah,
48. Yeah. That makes perfect sense. I was so upset in the stands watching this game and being like, just handed off and then throwing like crossing out routes and stuff. And I'm like, the ball is like fluttering out of the guy's hand. I don't even know who the quarterback was. Is Book? Was it Book? I don't remember who the quarterback was. But I was like, what are we doing?
It was
40 past them.
It's just all so funny to me. I expect Notre Dame to go in there with the tight operation, and I'm going to be frustrated if they don't. Like, I need them to know the mission, understand how big of a deal this game is, stay focused, go in there, play physical, and win the ball game, and we keep it moving. This is a big, big game, and we got to be on point. Anything else, my friend?
Yeah,
Happy Labor Day.
I'm hoping that it's an increasing competition, which you need you need at some point to go from Navy, Tennessee State, increase the competition level, because those teams are fine as like warm-ups, but you need to test yourself a little bit more before you get to the All State.
Yep. And physically, this is going to be the one everybody's going to look at. It isn't going to be the two we had, and it's not going to be Central. So this is the physical litmus test, the only real one we're going to have. And I want to see our guys hold up. And if they don't, it's going to bring out some concern that I haven't had yet this year. So I'm on the edge of my seat.
Oh, and the other thing I want to say is it was such a relief watching the NBC broadcast. I know it's not perfect. The NBC broadcast without Jack Collinsworth sounded like a 12-year-old out there.
Yeah.
It was such a relief. Burmeister, I mean, he sounds like an announcer. I was like, we have an announcer.
Yeah.
Like,
I know. It's just
go
rough.
back to Collinsworth. It's better.
Yeah, it's rough out there, man. But if they want to pay Notre Dame $75 million a year, whatever, in the next deal, I'll deal with it. Hey, man, enjoy your Labor Day and have a cold one on Brian Kelly today. All right.
Yeah, that was fantastic to watch. But all right, have a good day.
Have a good one, man. Thanks for the call. Oh boy. All right, we're gonna go through a bunch more calls. 30-second break. I don't even know why I say 30 seconds. It isn't even 30 seconds. I just need 1 second, but I refuse to blow my nose live on the air. That ain't happening. All right. I missed a couple super chats and then we'll get right back to the calls because there's a bunch of them still. Oh boy. Look at that. Tom Chris, 2488. 4524. Go Irish. That's a great donation, and I appreciate you for it. $10 holler from John. I know the competition's been weak, but I love the fact that 11 different players and 4 backs have TDs in the first 2 games. This is excellent for the locker room going into the bigger games. John, you're right about that, and I really appreciate the chat. Thank you very much. Andrew Gilmore with the $5 holler. We cannot overlook NC State. The ACC is way better than last year, largely because of the portal. NC State is a portal team. Smoke Armstrong. There you go. $10 holler V1 rotate. Social media. ND did what they're supposed to do. And you want a trophy? Also social media. The number 3 team in the country put 23 points on the 120th ranked defense in the country. That's the way it goes, isn't it? And then what do we have here? Jason, Notre Dame fans, to use an old saying, Kelly's living rent-free in your heads. You know what makes SEC, and this guy I think is an Alabama fan, defending the SEC's honor or something by defending Kelly or whatever in here? Here's the funny thing. It really, really makes SEC and LSU people mad when you tell them, we don't care that he left. No one was sad. We were excited. It sets them off. It triggers those people so much when you say, we were not mad about that. Like when they were all trying to mock us, we stole your guy in the middle of the night and Notre, you know what? It was like, yeah, thank you. This is awesome. Now maybe the coach I want to be the coach can get the job. But like, I don't know why they refuse to accept that we don't care the guy's gone. I don't know why they refuse to accept it. And the other thing is, and I've been winning on this one for over a year now, a bunch of them were saying, you're only saying you don't care that you lost Kelly, now that it happened because you want to make it, polish this situation up. I have a long YouTube and Twitter history, my friends. I have a long Twitter and YouTube history of calling out Kelly on all his Kelly-ness. So nobody was going to be able to pull that on me saying, oh, you liked him, and then once he left, you turned on him. No. Ultimate, not so fast, my friend. Andrew Gilmore with the key point here. This is a key point. Nice to see the running back get involved in the passing game that was non-existent last year. I'm going to tell you guys something I think we're going to see. I think against the big 3, I think you're going to see them use all of those backs way differently. In the pass game, try and confuse people. You could put multiple out there and do different things with them. I think you're going to see multiple of those backs involved and engaged in those big 3 to try and confuse and mess up everything that's going on. I think you're going to see that. 480, what do you know?
My man John, what's going on?
Hey, I'm just enjoying myself, man. Notre Dame's 2-0. Brian Kelly's taking some shade. What's not to like?
Man, I was seeing I watched the memes that you put on what's it called, X now?
Yeah.
I saw that last night and I was like, man, John is just having a field day. But I commented on the Fox page on Facebook, and I just said, typical Brian Kelly games. I said, out-coached, outmanned, uninspired, comes out flat. I said, this is not new to Notre Dame fans. We've watched this for, 12 years? So, hey, it's LSU's problem now, man. So.
Yeah, hey, they wanted it. They wanted it. They got it. As for Notre Dame, so far so good. Things are pretty much going according to plan. 2 inferior opponents.
I'm loving it.
Yeah, 2 blowout wins. You're relatively healthy. The quarterback is, I would even say, better than advertised. Freeman looks like he's more comfortable, and they got a pretty good plan and vibe going. Where are you at with all this? So far, so good, and I'm not used to saying that, man.
Man, I'm gonna tell you, man. Like that drive before the end of the first half, that was a thing of beauty by Sam Hartman, man. What was it? 6 for 6, 80 yards and a touchdown. It's just like I have not watched a quarterback since I've been watching football for Notre Dame, like probably since Brady Quinn, maybe Jimmy Clausen. I might give Clausen that, but Brady Quinn probably I would lean more towards where you just felt comfortable, man. You just knew, you just kind of had this optimism that the quarterback is just going to run the show, man. You're not like biting your nails or hanging on the edge of your seat because you don't know if the quarterback is going to take care of the football and
man, it changes
like
everything.
That, man.
It changes everything, man.
We
We always talk about, and I always bring up, I say it every week, quarterback's the most important individual position in all of sports, and it's a big deal. But you feel it. That guy's calm presence and competence permeates the whole operation. Everything seems calmer and under control now. It's like a weird vibe of just comfort to not have to worry that you don't have what you need at the most important spot. I'm just not used to it. It's a modern luxury, and I love it, man. The guy just has a presence. You know you got a dude who can do what you need him to do.
And you can tell, I'm like just looking at the different shots that they show on the sideline, you can just tell, man, that the team just loves the type of leadership that Hartman provides. You know, he's always high-fiving the O-line and going over high-fiving, talking to the running backs, receivers. Like these guys, man, are going to fight for Hartman because they believe, number one, they see how he's just out there, just running the show, man. And when you have a quarterback that has that type of confidence, all it does is it just spreads, man, because now the running back I got a quarterback that believes in me because he's like putting me in position to win. I'm going to block my butt off for him.
Yeah.
O-line, wide receiver. I mean, there's some things that still need to get sharpened up, but I'm going to say, man, that these first 2 games, to have a ball thrown to like 11 different guys, they're all touching the ball, they're getting the feel of that connection. I still want to see more of that. I will hope, that Tobias really begins to find his groove with Hartman. I just feel like there's still like that lack of connection between both of them.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we're at the point now, John, where we gotta just kind of go with what we know is going to click, because here in a few weeks we can't try to get Tobias involved.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, we need the guys just to step up. Whoever's going to catch the ball, whoever's going to make the plays, against Ohio State, the USC's, whoever.
Yeah.
At that point, it's like, hey man, if you haven't emerged by that time,
yeah,
the great houses,
and
I
don't care if it's guys that were in high school last year. The guys that are proven in the games leading up to make plays are the guys who are going to deserve the chance to make plays in that ball game. So
absolutely,
that's the way it has to go. And listen, man, here's what I think about. You're talking about that confidence that Cian Hartman gives the rest of the team. Think about if you're one of those wide receivers, and now if you run a good route and get open, you have a guy that's going to get you the ball. Like I just imagine if you're a wide receiver, you would love to go out there and block and get open and run a good route for this guy, because you'll actually be rewarded for doing it. It just changes the whole thing.
Man, there's a couple of plays that I watched the game over again. And man, there were a couple of plays where you had like 2 or 3 receivers wide open, man. Like there was one play where I think the ball went to Jeremiah Love on a RPO, or I think it might have been RPO read. Anyways, Jesus, what's his name? The freshman, not Greyhouse, Rico Flores. Rico Flores, man, was wide open, man. It was like he was in the slide. He was just a down, just straight out play, man. He was wide open in the middle, man. It's like, if we are putting our guys in position where we have multiple guys wide open like that, especially once we start playing a little bit more tougher competition, man, that's a great sign, man. That's like, I believe that like Hartman, he'll look back at the film and say, oh man, I had this guy open. And I believe that the receivers know that, and they trust that if they keep working hard and keep running hard routes and doing what they need to do, that they're going to be put in position to score and make plays. And that's one of the things that, we just have not seen, man, in such a long time. And I'm just really excited, man, of where this team is going. Number one, the leadership is better. You can tell Freeman is getting comfortable, man. He's getting more confident in terms of his coaching ability. He's starting to show like he is making these players accountable for the things that they're doing, And so all that does is it builds the camaraderie between coaches and players, when you have that type of gel, man. And hey, I like the fact that we're under the radar. I think that sometimes we get too much, notoriety and too much, praise about stuff is when we start messing up, man. So I think that just right now, it's good that we're building into this foundation of preparing ourselves for that big game, September 23rd, because I'm telling you, man, that game is going to be, it's going to be more than, if winning against Ohio State would be more than just beating Ohio State. That game can be a culture change. It can be a trajectory in terms of recruiting. It can be a change in terms of just the belief, man, that this team can really take off. And man, that's what
it's the big opportunity.
I'm really looking forward.
It's the big opportunity. And for once, Notre Dame is positioning itself to maybe be in when's the last time Notre Dame would enter one of these games against a top 5 team and you felt decent about it? You know what I'm saying? Like, not out of just hope.
John, I'm going to tell you,
not
man,
only just like Notre Dame hope, but like actually you feel good about the matchup. Yeah, you got Ohio State. You feel better about your quarterback than they do for once. If this isn't the year, when's the year? Win this damn game.
Right.
It all lines up.
Right,
it all lines up. Win this damn game.
Yep.
But you got to win the 2 before it first. I'm not going to forget that. But that's right.
That's right.
Bro, it's all lining up.
Hey,
though,
I watched the NC State game, and man, they struggled against the run. Man, they were not
6 yards a carry. 6 damn yards a carry on UConn there.
And I'm gonna tell you, man, I like what Jim Moore is doing with UConn, man. To go up there and take a team that was the laughing stock of football, college football, and now like, they lost, but I mean, just creating that competitive edge where you have kids that believe that they can compete. You can tell that Jim Moore is putting that in their heads, and you saw it, man. I mean, they were competing. If there weren't a couple of drives where they turned the ball over, they would have been in that game a little bit.
Yeah.
So, of course, like NC State, one thing about it, man, they're going to be, even though they had a bad game, they're going to be ready for us because everybody plays their Super Bowl game against Notre Dame. So, and we have not beat NC State at NC State, if I recall.
Yeah.
I think I saw a stat where they said we haven't.
You want to know something interesting? And you're going to hear this come up this week. Is Hartman's got a little bit of a shaky history at Wake Forest against these guys.
Yeah.
That is, hey man, that's going to get brought up. That's going to get brought up. And then on the Notre Dame end, you're going, okay, he's got a rough history there, but he didn't have Notre Dame's line, that kind of thing. Like, what do you make of that? He doesn't have the best history against this particular team.
Well, I say that, that he's had his struggles with NC State, but we also, I feel like in comparisons of the Wake Forest to the Notre Dame team, he didn't have a defense that was complement to his offense, and I think that's where the advantage can be at for us. But for us, we have to just play our game, man. If we play from a defensive standpoint the way we have the last couple of games, there is no way under the sun that Brendan Armstrong is going to have, any type of chance to beat us. But if we let him sit in that pocket or even give him those, 4 or 5 yard stretches where he's getting out the pocket and running 4 or 5 yards at a time, man, that's where they can get us,
Yeah.
So we have to contain Armstrong, and stop and run, because that's what they're going to try to establish. And if we can do that, man, this is the game where we're going to really begin to see where our secondary really is. Because this can be Ben Morrison's game. This can be Cam Hart's game. This can be, I really am still looking at this safety group. And I'm saying, yeah, we had a couple of good plays for the safeties, but still, this is the game where the secondary really needs to start emerging, man, really begin to set that, that tone that, look, we are here, and we're here to compete. We're here to go another step forward. So this is where it begins, man, because like I said, in a couple of weeks, man, we're going to need everybody. I mean, all hands on deck. The whole kitchen sink is going to have to be thrown out, against Ohio State on the 23rd. And so this is the game where the secondary really has to emerge. And I'm just excited because, man, seeing the depth on this team, as deep as we are, man, like it just really made me happy, man, because like we haven't been able to really see what we have in our tank in previous times, because we've been fighting for our life trying to hold on to a win, against an inferior opponent. So this is good stuff, man. I'm about to get off the phone here, but I'm just excited, man, to see where this team is headed. The confidence is there. You can tell that the belief is there. Now it's about taking it to another step. And I'm sure, as much as we're all saying it as Notre Dame fans, I have to believe and know that Freeman, that's what he's putting into their heads too. And so, we just have to trust the process and continue to keep supporting the Irish. But I'm excited, man.
Hey, so far so good, and this is a big step and a big test, and then we'll go from there, man. Hey, enjoy your Labor Day. Thanks for giving me a call. Enjoy the ball game tonight, Clemson Duke.
Yes, sir. That's going to be a good game, man.
Yeah.
Good game tonight.
I'm excited. A lot to scout both ways there. Have a good one, man. Thanks for calling. Look at this. We as fans need to get over Kelly. Fans commenting on all these LSU videos makes us look salty. These are the same fans that wanted him gone in the first place. Why are we still talking about him? How about this? My honor. How about that? My honor. It is important to me that I defend the positions I had. So when I told the LSU people what they were going to get from Kelly, Polian being bad on special teams, I warned them that was coming last year. I told them about the big game problems. None of them wanted to hear it. They told me, you're a Notre Dame podcast guy. You're only saying that because you're mad and you don't really mean it. You're jealous of us. It is important to me to prove that I was right. That's why I'm still talking about him. Because all the things I said that he would do to LSU are now happening. And they all said I was just jealous and sad and mad they took my boyfriend from me and all that. So no, I'm not going to take the high road and let it go. I'm going to remind them that I was right and they were wrong. Oh, John, that's petty. Who cares? So what? So what? I don't care. It is important for me to prove to those people I was right, they were wrong. Sorry. That's my honor, my name. And I got ripped by all those people for my Kelly Notre Dame takes. When they prove me to be correct, I'm letting them know. So it's a lot more than just, why can't we move on from him? No. I have some of my honor built into my Brian Kelly takes. So I need to keep up with that. They all told me that they were going to be great, and this was all just me being sad and mad I lost BK. It's important to me to prove that they were wrong and I was right. Sorry. John, that's immature. Who cares? Oh, John, that's petty. Yeah, you're exactly right. And I don't care. I love it. Oh, boy. 7:07. Good morning. Happy Labor Day.
Thank you, John. Happy Labor Day to you. Wait, did someone mention Brian Kelly? Hang on a second.
I don't know. Maybe you heard that wrong.
That's better.
I like it. Bring that back. I like that. That's really good, man. Bring that back from a few weeks ago. Anyways, really good weekend for Notre Dame. We blew out our team and then sat back and watched some good football, and then it capped it off last night. We still got a really interesting game to watch tonight that has something to do with us both ways. Like, I'm in a good mood, man.
Oh, it's just been a surreal kind of a weekend of everything is falling into place, But
shouldn't that make us nervous? Hey, you and I have been around a long time. Shouldn't that make us nervous? Like, that's the thing, man. When things feel too right with Notre Dame, that starts scaring me, just like when things feel bad. Should I be nervous that we feel good?
I don't think so. It's just such a feeling that I haven't had in such a long time. It's just, it's amazing what a quarterback can do for a team. And it's just so obvious how Kelly just didn't get that, and he's going to ruin this kid, Daniels. He's going to ruin him. I saw, the first two times they had like 7 plays from the 2-yard line and he couldn't score, but he went down for it twice on 4th down on 2 different possessions and he lost it. And it's like, oh my God, this is so what you're used to seeing, it's like, of course, I'd be afraid to play Florida State, until if we get the playoffs with them, then I'll look forward to it. But I'm afraid they're a good defensive line. They stopped everything Kelly tried to do. And of course he was vanilla. He was trying to run it in, be a man, man to man, run it, pound it down the middle, and he couldn't do it.
Yeah, that Florida State team looked really good, and those receivers are really good. That's the best I've seen Florida State look in a long time. They did look good.
Well, that was the ACC embarrassing the SEC and mostly Brian Kelly. I mean, we've seen it. Like everyone's been saying, we've seen it, and we knew it was going to happen. And it's just a matter of time until it does. And there he is. He's beating down the quarterback. That quarterback, you could tell, like he had to call a timeout, and for whatever reason, when they had it down at the 2, but he was dying for Kelly and on 4th down to take the points. Take a win. And both times he didn't do it. And then he's yelling at the kid like did the blue face thing on his quarterback almost every series that he came off the field. And he's just going to beat that kid down.
Yeah.
And it's just what we always have seen. So, I mean, I'm done with that. I want to talk about Notre Dame. What I liked about this last game was that we did what I wanted to see done. We had Angeli come in and we had Minchie play. And so that I was happy with. And then the tight ends got involved in the game. And that is what I was happy with. And then, with about 10 minutes left in the 4th quarter, we had an entire, the whole defensive line was replaced and the backers and the defensive backs, like all this playing time. And it was just an enjoyable win. Like you could see Minchie was just kind of smiling every time he went back to talk to Freeman or Gaduli. He was just like, he was so. I hope he stays. I hope he doesn't think that Angeli wins the game next year, the battle, because I still want to see more from him. I mean, Angeli actually made a really good play when he got out of that where he should have been sacked, and he wound up throwing a touchdown, and it was like a third down, and it was a very nice play. And then I think he threw another touchdown pass. So I like what we saw of him, but again, it was really a team that was beaten down by that point. Like they were exhausted. Their defense was on the field all day. Angeli got to play with the first team. So, like I want to see Minchie get to play with the first team and see what he can do, the next time there's a blowout.
Yeah. There was a lot to like. And you know what else too? We're not in the position enough to be able to empty out the bench with the backups enough to get them a lot of work in any given week or year or whatever. That all adds up. Those are valuable reps like competitive reps where you're not just running out the clock. Those all add up, and that's what gives you some depth and experience. So I know that's not the top priority, but getting those guys that work does add up in the long run, and it does help. Really good to see, man.
Yeah.
Like Notre Dame's trending up. It's just a matter of how focused can you be this week? It's the first big physical test, hot road environment, noon game, whatever. Like, I want to see how Notre Dame comes in there. I want them focused and ready to go.
Yeah, Ohio State, we didn't really they started out a little flat, and then they picked it up in the second half. Like their defense just totally stopped them. So I don't think we can put too much on that Indiana game. They went into Indiana and they won pretty soundly. Their quarterback looks a little bit, like we're going to have the advantage there, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
But, like that's still a good team, and they're still very good on defense. So, we have to bring our absolute best to beat them because, you see what the track record is of both teams. So we have to change that momentum.
And you know what else too?
And really,
I'm glad you brought that up. A lot of the focus from the Ohio State fans has been on like questioning the quarterback and that competition and what the quarterback looked like. I am not overlooking the fact that they gave up 3 points. Just like I said about Notre Dame and Tennessee State Navy, I don't care who you're playing. You give up 3 points, you're playing really good defense. That stood out to me as well. Notre Dame's going to have to put together a real offensive game plan and have success. And you hope having this quarterback would help you do that, but they're going to have to get it all together. But before we get there, you got to do it against NC State.
Right. And like I said last week, like everybody, this is going to get to the hard part of the schedule because I see, like 8 wins at least from each of these second tier schools, that are in the ACC. Like all of a sudden they win 2 against SEC and everyone's talking about the top 2, but I see a depth there because everyone's a transfer. Did you notice that every time you heard an announcer this weekend talk about a kid, it was that he's a transfer from,
Yeah.
It's like everybody's a transfer.
Yeah. Well,
everybody.
Yeah, including our favorite player. So I can't really say shit about it because my favorite player's a transfer too.
I know, but I'm just saying, like the ACC teams that are second tier, theoretically, are very good. Like Louisville is going to be a very hard game.
Yeah.
Wake Forest won like 37-9 or something.
And then we're going to see what's up with Duke tonight with that at that
Duke.
tier. Yeah, we're going to find out tonight some answers to that too.
Yeah, I think Clemson's just too strong defensively, and they're going to go into whatever they call their stadium, and they're going to take a win away from Duke. It'll be close, though. I predicted 24-20, but I think it'll be close. But I just, I'm way too happy to worry about other teams. Like I taped about 6-7 games, including last night.
Yeah.
And I watched them all, and I watch them in order of the time they're on because I don't want to know what happens. If it's blowouts and I can see it happening, like Penn State, it got kind of boring.
Yeah.
But I didn't even watch Michigan. I was like, that's they just play nobody, so I'm not.
Yeah.
waste my time with them. But I watched OSU, and they're gonna be there. Like they'll probably be undefeated when we play them because they don't have anybody else except for us, I think, until they play Michigan and Penn State.
Yeah,
So,
I think that was their tough one, was the first game. Now they got a couple sleepers and then us. So they are going to – here's what's going to happen. You and I both know it. They played this game against a Big Ten opponent and whatever. Now they're going to get into playing their non-con stuff. They're going to blow them out no matter what. And then they're going to start feeling better about that quarterback because he's going to pile up yards against those teams, kind of like how we did the first 2 weeks. I'm not acting like that's like wrong or not accurate, but that's what's going to happen. So they're going to start feeling good. What I would want is let that guy get used to a couple of teams without our talent, thinking he has it all figured out, thinking he could do that against us, and it's a whole new ball game against us. Go ahead. Let it get to your head. Have a good next couple weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I don't know, John. I'll let you get to other callers. I got a whole week to give you another call. So
yeah, I know. Yeah, we got a long week ahead of us, but it is a very important one. So stay in touch, my friend. Give me a call Wednesday and enjoy your Labor Day.
You too, my friend. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Go Irish.
Go Irish. Oh, man. What do we got? Pac-12 as competitive league and ACC improving. I'm pretty sure the Pac-12 is the only conference that's undefeated. Unless I'm wrong about that, I'm pretty sure I saw they were the only conference that's undefeated. Isn't it ironic that the conference that's falling apart and isn't going to exist is the only one that's undefeated after week one? Oh, man. That's funny. 618, make it great. Good morning.
Hey, how you doing, John, man? I've been trying, but what I'm saying, we're working and whatever. The times I call in, every time I be getting ready to go to work. But anyway, man, over the weekend, man, we looked good at moments, and we looked kind of, when the first drive I seen them, I was like, oh man, here we go again. We beat up on Navy, and now we're gonna play down to a FCS school. Man, I was kind of afraid that they first drive and our first drive, man.
Yeah, so what do you think that was? Navy, hangover, travel from Ireland, you're playing a team without a bunch of juice. Like, what do you chalk that up to? And should it be a concern, or should we go, hell, we got over it, don't worry about
it? Yeah. No, we cannot come out this week and play NC State like that, man. It's just that we got to just up the tempo from day one, man. As soon as we get on the field, we got to up the tempo. We can't let a game like this score 56 points. I think we can score 56 points on everybody in the country, But all the Ohio State people, man, I told you, man, that quarterback is gonna be horrible this year, man. We're gonna beat Ohio State, but man, I'm just hoping that this week we just got to get through this week and get through next week, and man, we get to prove on the big stage that we get to beat up on Ohio State.
Yeah, it is just, it's all lining up. It, like, you could see the roadmap for Notre Dame, and it's all lining up 2 for 2 weeks. Your goals, your objectives have been reached. You're stepping up in competition level this week. You find a way to get through this one, and you should be setting up that Ohio State matchup with all the momentum in the world in a game where you might actually feel like a Notre Dame fan going into a huge game where we may actually have the quarterback advantage. I do not remember the last big ball game we played against an elite team where I felt that way. It changes the whole thing. Changes everything.
It's not a might. John, we do have the quarterback advantage. We do have the better offensive line. We have the better running back. But we're going to prove to Ohio State, we're going to beat Ohio State by at least 20.
Woo, baby. Come on now. You got us winning by over 2 scores. I'm going to lose my mind in happiness.
Dude, look at the game, man. Look, man. Every time we play these teams that we wind up being that was wound up better, they always had the better quarterback. We have quarterback is the most important position of all of sports, in all of sports.
Yep.
And now Notre Dame has the better quarterback. I'm not even sure if their quarterback is better than Angelic.
Come on, man. Are you overdoing it a little bit? Maybe all right,
I'm not overdoing it, man.
Wait. Let me act like I'm an Ohio State guy. I'm going to go, hey, man, it was the first game. There's some rust to knock off. He'll be fine. Like you got to ease into it. What if that's what they're going to say is this quarterback thing's going to look a lot better when they come to play us than they did against Indiana? How would you respond to that?
That's their excuse every year, man. If when they're playing teams, they got a better quarterback or anybody at better position. Yes, they have the better receiver. I give them that because the receivers, I think, but they're not too much better than what we have on their top two receivers. But they every time we're better than somebody at a certain position, they always say, "Well, it was just week one, or we did it, man." Look, them quarterbacks is not as good as you think they are. When you talked about Stroud, you wanted CJ gone. Now he's gone. Now you look like, man, we looked bad at quarterback last year against Ohio State. It never got any better during the season. What you see is what you get. It's nothing you can say about it. Look at the kid from Colorado passing 500 yards. That's what we're going to get almost the whole entire season.
Man, I'm telling you, I like your energy though. And you know what? At least you're consistent because you've been saying Notre Dame was that Notre Dame was going to dominate and have a great year, and you picked them to go to the playoff in the summer. I remember you picked Notre Dame to go to the playoffs, so you got to hold to it. I like the positivity, man. What do you think is going to be the biggest test for Notre Dame at NC State? Is it going to be the line play, like defensive front, offensive front, or what do you think? What are you looking for?
I think the biggest test for Notre Dame at NC State is going to be in that road environment. It's going to be, trust me, their fans going to show up for Notre Dame.
Yeah,
it's going to be a hostile environment, and it's up to Freeman to get these guys calmed down and let's go up there, man, and let's execute the game plan. That's going to be the biggest thing is executing the game plan. Look, I heard a call earlier say that, hey, man, that maybe, Hartman ain't the guy to go into NC State. He had trouble at NC State before, but, dude, that was freaking Wake Forest.
Yeah.
You never had athletes like this at Wake Forest in the history of Wake Forest football.
Yeah, and you definitely don't have the line. There's no way that he's going to have the same caliber line, even though he got a lot out of those wide receivers at Wake. But the line, there's no way it's nearly as good.
You go and look at it like this, man. He's never had receivers like this. And the quarterback's really the one that makes the receivers. But he made his receivers look really good. These Notre Dame receivers might make him look even better, man.
Man, there's just, I'm not used to this level of excitement, but for once, all is right with Notre Dame in the world. We're trending the right way. I can't wait to break this game down later in the week. This is a big one, man. I got to see Notre Dame go in there focused, run a tight physical operation, get ahead of these guys, squeeze the life out of them, and keep it moving. I need that this week.
And what did I tell you, John, when everybody was talking about the kid that tore his Achilles last year, the other kid that's going to be a sophomore this year? What did I tell you, man? Jeremiah Love is the most explosive running back that Notre Dame has. And over the first 2 weeks, he looked like the most explosive running back that Notre Dame got. I've been telling everybody that he's the most explosive that you're going to get. You're not going to get explosiveness like that, man. Unless you go and get one of these super fast track guys that's actually playing running back, that actually know how to play running back.
Yeah, man. This is just, it's all shaping up in a way where I just, Notre Dame's got it all in front of them, man. I just don't want anything to get messed up. I'm excited about this. Are you?
Let me tell the Ohio State fans this, John. Where was Marvin Harrison this weekend? Where was he at? I didn't see him. Hell, I didn't see him in the stat line. So where was he at this weekend?
Did he get banged up? Did I see that he got dinged up a little bit? Maybe that's it. Maybe I'm wrong. I thought he got dinged a little bit.
Man, listen to me, man. If he's getting banged up against Indiana, man, Notre Dame, man, as the first two games I see, they're physical. They're gonna hit you. And they ain't afraid of you.
Yeah.
So if you're getting banged up against Indiana, dude, you're gonna have a guy. He's definitely an NFL first round pick, but you also gonna have a guy that follows you all the way around the field that's an NFL first round pick. So you might have two guys that follow you that's NFL first round pick. Man, Ohio State is in trouble, man.
Man,
they are in trouble.
All right. I like where you're headed. I want to see it all come to fruition. Hey, man, have a good Labor Day. I really appreciate the call. Anything on the way out? What do you got?
Man, I'm just saying, man, Notre Dame got to just stay focused. And I think they could beat NC State by a couple touchdowns, man. They just got to stay focused, keep their game plan, keep running the ball, mixing it up. This is something that Hartman has never had, really mixing it up with the run in the pass. We're going to be okay against NC State, man.
Yeah, there you go, man. I appreciate it. Relax. Have a good Labor Day, buddy. All right?
All right, man.
See ya. Oh, man. And then 567 donated. Let's pull him up. What's going on?
Hey, what up, Johnny boy?
Just there's a lot going on, man. Between all the Kelly stuff and Notre Dame positivity, it's too much for me to contain.
I love to see it. I love to see it. It made my heart smile with joy to see that happen to LSU last night, buddy, especially the way that it did.
Yeah, it was just poetic justice. It was every piece of misery we existed in playing out in somebody else's problem. It was just amazing. Like, it was just beautiful to see it look so familiar, but not be mad about it. It was unbelievable. Great feeling.
I was texting my dad last night during the game on the fourth down and goal calls.
Yeah.
I was calling out Kelly's tendencies. And I was like, this is going to be a rub route right here. This is going to be a quarterback draw right here. It's just, a caller a little bit ago said that his play calling was so vanilla, and that's just how the guy is.
It was amazing. And it was just touch them all, man. Home run. Just touch them all, everything. You had bad special teams. You had him panicking and abandoning the run, only 12 carries for the backs. You have him taking one of their best defensive players and moving him into a different position where he's not comfortable. It's just everything, man. Touch it all. It just home run. Ooh, what a great weekend. What a great weekend.
Heck yeah, man. And another thing, off the topic of Brian Kelly and Notre Dame for a minute. I mean, I understand that they won the game this weekend, okay? I think people are overreacting about Colorado beating TCU. I mean, is TCU world beaters? They got in the college football playoff last year. I understand that. And I'm congratulating Colorado on that victory, okay? But it's not like they don't have any talent on their roster. How many players did they get from the portal?
80. Literally, like 80.
You know?
Yeah.
And everybody is crowning Deion as the savior. And I'm not trying to take anything away because it was a good win, but I'm not impressed by it. They won by 3 points. They gave up 42 points to a TCU team that's probably going to end up with 4 losses this year. Agreed?
Yeah, but think about it, man. It was game one with all that media buildup and Deion, the way he runs his mouth and the promotional stuff. Like, it was always going to be a big event because it was his first, rodeo. So some of that is going to be exaggerated as far as the emotions go, but they played good.
That's exactly right. Exaggerated is the best word to use.
I'll give them credit though. They played good though, and they made the big plays you have to make. And the other thing is, do you think they're going to beat Nebraska? Because that's going to be the next thing that's going to be a big media thing is Colorado versus Nebraska. I could see them scoring a boatload of points there too.
The game that I missed, the game that I did miss over the weekend was the Thursday night Nebraska-Minnesota game. Did Nebraska lose that game?
Yes, they did. They lost the game at that. They were winning the whole time and then fumbled running out the clock and ended up losing. Yes.
I think that game's that Colorado-Nebraska game's a 50-50 game. I think that I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say Nebraska wins that game in a barn burner because I'm guessing it's going to be at Nebraska.
Yeah, I don't
know. I don't know for sure where it's going to be.
I don't remember where it is either. But that's just
you know what? I'll go ahead and say that. I'll go ahead and say this: if it's at Nebraska, Nebraska wins. If it's at Colorado, Colorado wins. But either way, Colorado's at best an 8-win football team this year. And I don't even think they're going to get to that. I just think people are over exaggerating about Colorado right now. TCU is not anything special.
Yeah, I just think it's
all of college football is talking about Colorado like they talk about Caleb Williams.
Yeah,
it's Colorado and Caleb Williams. Colorado's not even in the national championship picture. What the heck are we talking about?
I understand why it is though. It's the first game. Colorado never has any buzz. Now they have it. Dion ran his mouth. Everybody wanted to see whether he could pay it off or not. His kid's the quarterback. Like there's a lot built into this. The issue is,
but here's how the Big 12 is. The Big 12 gives up 700 yards passing on a good day on defense. That's not the first 500-yard game he's gonna have this year. That's just the Big 12.
Yeah, but I don't know. I get why it was overblown and a big deal. And there is the possibility that TCU's overrated or whatever, but I understand why it was a big deal. What I want to see is I want to see Dion in that interview room if they play bad and lose some week. Like it's all fun to watch him up there all bragging, you doubted us, do you believe now and all that. I'm really interested to see how that meeting will go if he loses and it goes bad. I want to see that interaction.
And it will. And I want some of these reporters to keep receipts too.
Yeah, I mean,
we'll see how he handles some heat.
But hey, that's a little tricky. When he got in the press room and started saying, I remember what you wrote. Do you believe now in this and that? That's a little tricky now.
Right.
Because you're a coach. The media's job is not to be a cheerleader for the team. It's to report what they think is going on. Like that makes me a little I don't really love that vibe because it isn't. The reporters don't have to root for the team. That's not their job. It is to report what's going on. So that's a bit much.
I agree. I just wanted to bring that up. I think the hype for Colorado is over exaggerated. Congratulations to them. They won the football game against a team that last year went to the college football playoff.
All right.
But it's this year. It's not last year.
All right. Now wait. Now
you can't talk about TCU being a powerhouse this year yet.
Now, what if I said to you,
go ahead.
I'm being fair. What if I said to you, who cares about Notre Dame? They beat two teams with not a lot of talent. So who cares?
I agree 100%.
Oh, just checking for consistency.
Notre Dame hasn't done nothing yet. Notre Dame hasn't done nothing yet.
Yeah,
I'm a fan and I'm excited. I feel good.
Yeah. Yeah, I just check it for consistency
but
there. Like if we're not giving them credit for beating TCU, we'd have how much credit can we give us for what we've done? I just check it for consistency. That's all.
Hey, in my opinion, TCU holds more water than Navy and Tennessee State, so they have a better win on the resume than we do to this point.
Yeah. So
I'll give them that much, but I don't think that they deserve all the credit that they're getting. I mean, it's Caleb Williams and it's Colorado right now. That's all anybody in the college football world's talking about.
Yeah, it's just
I don't think they deserve that.
It's the big story. It's week one. That's why, and whatever. I think the novelty of all this will wear off eventually. What do you think about NC State? What are your biggest priorities for this football game?
I want to see the Lions. I want to see a dominant pass rush. That's what I'm after this year. That's what Notre Dame needs. That's what we're gonna have to have. We're gonna have to win the Big Three. We need a dominant pass rush. We haven't had that in a while. I know we've had a stable defense, but I'm talking dominant. And to win all three of the games and have 12-0 aspirations, we have to have a dominant defensive line. And if what everybody was talking about in fall camp about that D-line is true, then it should come to fruition. If it's not, we're going to find out.
Yeah.
The O-line and the D-line is what I'm most excited to see.
Yeah, that's exactly what's on my mind too. I just want to see that physicality level and the efficiency on both sides against a more physically built opponent. And so this is a real test. And if Notre Dame plays decent, they win by 2 scores. If Notre Dame dicks around, then you can lose in the hot sun. Like they're not overly talented, but they're put together and coach well enough. If we go down there and mess around, we're gonna have an issue. So you got to pull it together.
Yeah, I want to go down there. I don't want no messing around. I agree with a couple callers ago. I think they're going to open up the playbook a little bit more. I seen Greg Flamong. I don't know if you're
I know Greg.
If you know about him or not. I seen some stuff that he had on Twitter, and he was showing some clips of some possible RPO stuff with Rico Flores. And man, there was one play where Flores was running right down the middle of the field, and they could have hit him. And I don't know if they're holding that stuff back. I don't know if they're seeing what's there when they call an RPO. But you got to think that they're going to pull some RPO out Saturday.
Yeah, and I am sure there are things they've been holding, knowing this would be the first physical test. So I want to see, what we've seen has already been good enough to do what we've done. But I'm excited to see that. And I think you do want to work on some things before that Ohio, and throw them out at Ohio State. And then there's other things I might want to keep in my pocket till Ohio State. So that is a good point against this quality opponent to see what's different this week structurally.
Yeah, I think they're going to have to show a little bit. I don't think they're going to take everything out of the cabinet this weekend, but I think they're going to show more than what they have against Navy and Tennessee State. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And then the next week, I think they're just going to play it kind of like the first 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And they're just going to save the rest, or just show more against Ohio State.
Yeah. And so I don't know, man. Things are trending up for Notre Dame. So far, so good. Everything looks good. We're pretty healthy. Like teams I don't like are losing. It's all trending good, and that makes me nervous, man. I'm not used to being in a good mood with things going in the right direction with Notre Dame. It's making me nervous, throwing me off.
Hey, man, let's just all calm down, because I mean it is Navy and Tennessee State, and we're all happy. And I'm not saying let's not be happy, because it's been a long time since Notre Dame's had a quarterback. But with that being said, Notre Dame's had a quarterback that's looked like this against Navy and teams like Tennessee State before under Kelly. Believe it or not, we have. We have had a quarterback that's looked good against teams like that. So let's see what Hartman does. Let's see what Hartman does against Ohio State. Yeah. And then I'll start.
Hey, that's why you bring that guy.
About Hartman.
That's why you bring that guy in here to take care, check off all the other games, and then you bring him in there to win the marquee 3. That is why he is here. That is it. So we're going to get there, my friend. Hey, I want you to have a cold one today and relax on Labor Day, all right?
Hey, man, you too. One more thing.
Yeah.
Kent, slow your roll. Get on your own pages, your own team's chat, okay? Leave
man.
Notre Dame alone.
Yeah.
Jason H., go to a Bama chat room, dude. And the last thing, Irish Nation, get out there September 23rd. Support Notre Dame. We need you. We win if the crowd's green. We lose if it's red. Get out there and support them.
There you go. Love it, man. Have a good one and enjoy the ball game tonight, man. A lot of intrigue for us on both sides. Enjoy it.
Yes, sir. Go
Have
Irish,
a good
baby.
one. Have a good one. Oh, man. Telling you. This was wild. This is wild. Kent, I see you, but I have stuff to do. I'm already 15 minutes late, and I have stuff I got to do. So that's going to be it. Everybody who called, thank you. There's a bunch of calls I wasn't able to get to. On a holiday, I think a lot of people are available to not just listen, but call. I apologize. Wasn't able to breeze through them quick enough to get everybody in. Tried calling again. We're live Wednesday. We're live Friday night, whatever it is. But everybody that chatted, everybody that donated, all of this stuff, I really appreciate it. The energy's picking up here, and it's a big week for Notre Dame. Everybody, enjoy your Labor Day and enjoy Clemson Duke tonight. Have a good one. This show was fun.